Sorry. Okay. So anyway, yeah, Icelandic names. So you can see Rannveig Snorradottir, very long name. All Icelandic names end with dóttir or son. So if you ever meet a person with a surname ending with dóttir or son, it's probably an Icelandic person. We are very firm on our original traditions and never change anything we do. So our tradition is that I am the daughter of my father's first name. So my father's name is Snorri, and therefore I'm Snorradottir, the daughter of Snorri. My brother is Snorrason because he's the son of Snorri, and we do not change our names in marriage or anything because I will always be the daughter of my father. So there you go, fun fact. Can you maybe nod along if you so you can confirm that you see my screen? Iceland there in the massive glacier. Now I'm going to take you to Iceland. Let's start with the capital city. The capital of Iceland is Reykjavik, and we are a tiny population in Iceland of only 350,000 people. And 250,000 of us live in the capital area. So you can just imagine how much nature and space there is in Iceland. A lot of people don't realize, but Iceland, the island, is quite big, in fact. It is roughly the size of the UK. So huge island, technically, with a tiny population. Reykjavik is a gorgeous, small, compact city. It's the northernmost capital in the world, and it is very easily explored in just half a day or a day, to be honest. When you come to Iceland, you don't really want to just stay in the city. We're not your typical city break destination because, of course, you want to experience the amazing nature that we can offer in Iceland and experience. But like I said, Reykjavik is still always worth half a day or a day to explore within your program. What's most common to do when visiting Iceland is to base yourself in Reykjavik during the winter months. This is simply because of the road conditions. We have icy and snowy roads, sometimes snowstorms, so you may want to avoid self-driving, for example, in the winter months, and therefore base yourself in the city, and from there we offer an abundance of amazing activities that our local guides take you on. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you about some of these experiences that you can have while staying in Reykjavik. One of the most famous experiences is the Blue Lagoon. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the famous Blue Lagoon in Iceland. It is without a doubt one of our top attractions. And you can just see here on the map of Iceland where it's located. So the location of the Blue Lagoon is very ideal. It's only about a 15-20 minute drive from the airport, so it's quite common to come and visit the Blue Lagoon when you arrive or when you depart, connecting with your flights, therefore saving both time and money. Sorry, I'm sure you can see this. I'm just admitting people that are popping in a little bit late. The Blue Lagoon is something that you have to experience. A lot of people ask, is it commercial? And I'm not going to lie, it is commercial for very good reason, but they handle it really well. Firstly, it's been expanded a lot. So as you can see in the bottom picture here, this is a fully booked Blue Lagoon. So once you're inside the Blue Lagoon, you definitely don't feel crowded or anything. Lots of space to enjoy, an in-water bar, and we also have a mask bar. So these amazing blue colors of the Blue Lagoon are enhanced by the white silica mud that is found in the waters. And this mud has amazing healing powers to your skin. So when you're soaking in the Blue Lagoon, you're going to want to take advantage of that and get some of that mud smeared on your face and have a younger, healthier look leaving the Blue Lagoon. We have the amazing Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. We are so lucky to be that far north. And trust me, I'm Icelandic and I never get enough of this sight. I've seen it, obviously, lucky enough to see it so many times, and I never get enough. We have amazing tours taking you on a hunt for the Northern Lights. The most important thing that we want to do for you is leave the city lights, because when you have a light pollution from the city, then you will not be able to see the amazing Northern Lights quite as brightly. So we leave the city with you, and we have three options: either a cruise, a coach, or by our super jeeps. I'll tell you a bit more about our super jeeps a little bit later. And during, if you do the cruise or the coach, for example, if you do not see the Northern Lights, you come again for free. So we really want to try to help you to see the Northern Lights, even though it's a natural phenomena, so we can never guarantee that you will. But we'll do everything in our power to help you be successful. We have amazing forecast systems that we monitor every single hour of the day during the winter months. The strength of the Northern Lights that evening, whether it's cloudy or not, and so on. So you're in good hands with us regarding the Northern Lights. Now I'm going to take you to the Golden Circle. The Golden Circle, after the Blue Lagoon, would be our top site for sure. This is a full day tour taking you into the countryside with the 3 top attractions that we have. These 3 attractions are, first of all, our national park called Þingvellir. Here in Þingvellir National Park, this is home to Iceland's largest lake and also home to the world's first parliament. So you can still see the parliament building there, even though we've moved the activity of it into Reykjavik, but the building is still there. And here you can also see the 2 tectonic plates of America and Eurasia. You can see it in the bottom picture here clearly, the 2 plates which are being pulled apart by up to 2 centimeters each year. Iceland is a very active country with volcanoes and earthquakes and what have you. So in fact, we have a growing island up to 2 centimeters every single year. You can walk this pathway here between the 2 continents in the national park. Moving on from there, we're taking you to the hot spring area, Geysir. So you know the word geyser, that is an erupting hot spring, and the English word geyser actually comes from our geysir, our Icelandic geysir. So we have the original one. Geysir itself doesn't erupt anymore, sadly, but its little brother Strokkur erupts every 5 to 10 minutes in the area. So this is over here and a guaranteed hot spring eruption on your Golden Circle. From there, we continue on to this breathtaking waterfall, Gullfoss, or the Golden Waterfall. And as you can see, it's just a breathtaking waterfall where this glacier water is thundering down into a beautiful canyon. I wanted to show you 2 pictures on each side here to the left and right. This is the same waterfall, just winter and summer. So also when you visit Iceland, it is very much like visiting 2 different countries if you come in summertime and wintertime. This is what I highly recommend. I cannot recommend this activity highly enough, actually. What you can do is you can upgrade your Golden Circle, and instead of going on a coach, for example, during these sites, you can enjoy our amazing super jeeps. We are so proud of our super jeeps. This is our men's toys. They go crazy over this. So they bring in these jeeps from abroad and completely strip it up and modify it to handle all Icelandic terrain. So these super jeeps, they can drive up mountains, onto glaciers, through rivers, and all of Icelandic terrain. So you can enjoy the Golden Circle in the comfort and privacy of a small group or even a private super jeep with a guide. And once we have shown you the waterfall, we will take you on the super jeep onto our glacier, our 2nd largest glacier called Langjökull, where the water of Gullfoss actually comes from. On top of the glacier, at our base, we dress you up and you go snowmobiling. We provide the overalls, helmet, and all the gear, and you can go snowmobiling. The age limit is only 6 years old, so children are welcome to join you. Of course, they will not be driving though. But I'm telling you, the second that my son turned 6, we were on that glacier snowmobiling, and he was sitting in front while I was safely driving. Otherwise, if you have 2 adults, then typically 2 adults share one snowmobile, and one of them drive halfway through, where we stop on the glacier in the middle of nowhere, do a bit of snow angels, snowball fights, take amazing pictures, switch drivers, and the other one drives back. It is really one of those things that makes your Iceland holiday be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Now taking you to the south coast of Iceland. Here we have absolutely breathtaking scenery like we have everywhere in the country, but now different. Here we have waterfalls. We always have waterfalls though, but they're all so different from each other. We have glaciers, volcanoes, black sandy beaches. And why, was there a question there? No? And why are our beaches black? It's quite simple, it's ash. So believe it or not, Iceland has a volcano eruption roughly on average every 4 years. It is not only the monster there that erupted in 2010. Does anyone remember the name? Eyjafjallajökull. That volcano that erupted back in 2010 when we thought the world was a disaster. We didn't know what was about to hit us in 2020. But anyway, on the south coast, this is also where Eyjafjallajökull is. So you drive past Eyjafjallajökull, but it is underneath a glacier cap. And that was in fact the problem because the lava couldn't get through clearly enough. This is where the ash eruption happened. So you can see and explore all of this on the south coast. Again, just to demonstrate, on the left and right, this is the same black sandy beach, winter and summertime. You will witness this waterfall here in the middle called Seljalandsfoss. I'm going to test you in the end with all of these names, especially the volcano. This Seljalandsfoss waterfall here, you can walk behind it on this path. So that's a very unique experience to see the waterfall from literally a 360 degrees. Here we have a waterfall called Skógafoss. Again, summer, winter, this is the same waterfall. And you can add onto your trip, if you want to, a glacier hike. So we put crampons on your shoes, and you have to go with an experienced guide on our glaciers. And you follow the guide and walking on an Icelandic glacier, a very different glacier experience from the one where you were snowmobiling. This is my favorite add-on though to the south coast. So in the south, you can also opt to join us in one of our ice caves. So we have these natural ice caves that the glaciers form. These change all the time. So our glacier experts, they are on that glacier all day, every day, exploring and finding these amazing caves everywhere. We take you on a super jeep inland close to this glacier, which is located at the base of Katla volcano. Katla volcano, sorry about that. And here you follow your guide inside these ice caves and explore. Absolutely breathtaking experience. This one we do all year round. From Reykjavik, you can also go whale watching. So we have our whale watching boats are located right in the city center harbor. Off we go sailing in search of these gentle giants. We have a lot of, in the bay outside of Reykjavik, we tend to mainly see minke whales, humpbacks, a lot of dolphins, porpoises, and if you're in the season, you may see some puffin. So the puffins in Iceland are seasonal. So it's only during the summertime that you may encounter puffin. But anyway, on your whale watching tour, you're looking for whales. We have a success rate of about 96% in the summertime, and we sail all year round. But in the winter months, the success rate drops down to about 88%. But that's only because the sea can be a bit more choppy, and we're careful not to sail out if the sea is choppy, just to protect you from any potential seasickness. In the summer months, you can also upgrade your whale watching to this rib boat here, this speedboat, which has only 12 people on. This one goes that much faster out onto the ocean and gets you that much closer to the whales. So it is a brilliant way to go whale watching. And here's a fun hobby that we have noticed people around the world are going crazy for good reason. So this is paddleboarding. And in Iceland, we do stand-up paddleboard or SUP. We offer this tour guided in 3 different ways. We have here the Forgotten Fjord. We call it Forgotten because we have made a tunnel underneath the water to cut the driving time, having to drive the entire fjord around. We now just drive straight through the tunnel, meaning this fjord has become completely forgotten and nobody's there. So we drive into the fjord, gear you up in a dry suit to keep you warm, and off you go paddleboarding with our experienced guides. Now, I don't have balance for the life of me myself. So when I went to try this out, I was terrified. I was so scared that I would just be in the water the whole time. But turns out everyone can do it. And when I say everyone, I mean because I could. You don't even have to stand up if it makes you feel uncomfortable. You can sit on your bum or your knees and just enjoy the nature there at your own comfortable pace. I cannot recommend this activity highly enough, honestly. No phone, nothing disturbing you, and in complete Icelandic silence. We also go paddleboarding here in the west coast, and we also offer a sunset paddleboard outside of Reykjavik. We have a number of lava tunnels, of course, remember, as we're such a volcanic active country. And this is one of my favorite lava tunnels. It's the most colorful and beautiful I've ever seen. It's only 30 minutes south of the city. So we pick you up at your hotel in Reykjavik, drive for about half an hour. And there you meet our experienced guides where we put on a helmet and a lamp and you walk inside this lava cave with our guides. And as you can see from the bottom right picture here, they have built some pathways and stairs to kind of make it a bit easier to explore the lava tunnel. And here you can really see and feel what Iceland is often called the land of ice and fire. Because in there you can really see, obviously you're in a lava tunnel, and how the effects of a volcanic eruption and our glaciers, how this has effect on scenery like this. And even inside the cave, you can see these massive icicles standing up straight up. It really is amazing. This is an interesting one. I'm not sure any of you would have imagined that you go to Iceland to snorkel, but you do. So in Iceland, we do snorkel and dive, and yes, we do it in glacier water. So here you can go snorkeling or diving in glacier water. This is in our national park that's located on the Golden Circle. And here, as you can see from the pictures, you are snorkeling between the two continents. So you have America on one side and Eurasia on the other, and you are snorkeling or diving between the two continental plates. This is an absolutely one of my favorites, I would say. It is. The amazing thing about this is that you are snorkeling not in search of any life, because there are no fish there. It's glacier water. It's way too cold. So you are snorkeling for the underwater scenery, which is completely out of this world. This is some of the clearest waters in the world, and National Geographic repeatedly titled this one of the best snorkeling experiences in the world. We dress you up. Don't worry. I felt that you only get really cold around the lips, and because it's glacier water, it's a stable 2 degrees cold all year round. So we do this activity also all year round. We don't let winter stop us in our activities. Here we have inside the volcano. So it's the only place where you can willingly yourself go inside an inactive volcanic chamber. You have to hike for about 3.5 kilometers each way. A beautiful hike, very easy, in a beautiful lava field. And once you reach this volcano called, are you ready? Are you noting down? Þríhnúkagígur. That's the name of this volcano. We're quite funny with our names. Once you reach the opening to it, we will brief you and put on a harness, and you walk here on this whatever you call it in English, like a pathway, into our lift. And you know the window cleaner lifts? It's one of those. So a few people in each of these lifts, and you descend down 120 meters. It takes about 7 minutes to get you down to the bottom, and there you leave the lift and you get free time. There are guides there as well who tell you all about it, and you have free time there to explore inside an actual volcano. Even being Icelandic myself, I would say that this was probably one of the more surreal experiences that I've ever had. And the colors in there are just absolutely breathtaking. I could not believe the sights that I was enjoying there. And once you can see the lift here as well on its way up or down. And once you come out as well, we warm you up with a nice Icelandic soup before you trek back. So I have now sort of taken you through a lot of the guided tours that you can do while you base yourself in Reykjavik. So as you can see, you can easily go to Reykjavik in the winter months, base yourself in the city, and then take this huge variety of tours, whichever one interests you, and we put that all together, half day, full day, and so on. But then when it comes to the summer months, I definitely encourage you to self-drive. That's when you're going to want to self-drive with the safe roads. They're not icy or snowy. So jump in the car and drive around the island, because the island has such a variety of scenery and things to explore and do. Um, You can see just here are some of our most popular routes to take on self-drives. And as long as you have 9 days, you will manage the entire circle route of Iceland. Another fun fact about Iceland, we're so tiny. We have a road in Iceland called Road Number 1, literally. Follow road number 1 and you'll be fine. You will not be able to get lost, because road number 1 will take you around the entire island. You have to go around the island because we only live along the coast, because the entire center part of the country is uninhabitable. It is volcanoes, glaciers, and mountains, so nobody lives in the center. You drive around the coast. The summer months in Iceland, while we have the northern lights during the winter months, the summer is really the opposite, where we have 24-hour daylight. So the sun doesn't really set. I took this picture this last summer from my balcony, and you can see the one on the left, the sun was setting. It was about 1:23 a.m. and here the sun was rising at about 2:45 a.m. So the sun pretty much just about touches the horizon before it's heading back up again. So you have 24-hour daylight, and when you're self-driving, you have all the time in the world to be out exploring Icelandic nature. Want to demonstrate quickly to you what you may experience in the different areas of our country. I've taken you around Reykjavik here, Blue Lagoon, Golden Circle is around the lake here, because everyone's seeing the map I'm pointing at. All along the south coast, but then we would head back if you take that south coast tour. So now I'm taking you further towards the southeast. The southeast, sorry, the southeast part of Iceland is dominated by Vatnajökull Glacier. Vatnajökull is the largest glacier in Europe, and you can simply see the size of it here. This is Vatnajökull Glacier. It is massive. The entire area is really dominated by this site. First, when you're getting closer, you can make a stop here at this canyon called Fjaðrárgljúfur Canyon. It's even a tongue twister for me, honestly. Fjaðrárgljúfur Canyon. And then once you reach the glacier itself, one of our favorite spots here is the Glacier Lagoon. You can see on the top right picture, here is Vatnajökull Glacier in the background, like that much of it that you can see. And what's happening there is that there's a lagoon right in front of the glacier, and there are parts of the glacier that are falling off, these little icebergs. And these icebergs are floating around in this lagoon, and in the summer months, you can sail in our amphibian boats between the floating icebergs. But what is interesting that happens there, you can see on the picture, the icebergs, they're quite dirty. So it is a mix of sand and ash, of course ash, because there are a number of volcanoes underneath this glacier. But the part of the iceberg that's underwater is getting cleaned up by the water, so it's getting clear. And then it kind of gets a bit smaller, so the top half gets heavier. Then it will flip over, and the other half gets cleaned up. These icebergs then, now having become very clean, they are floating onwards on their way to the Atlantic Ocean, and a lot of these icebergs get stranded on the black sandy beach on the other side, and that's the picture here to your top left. This is a place that is called a Diamond Beach, and you can maybe see where the name comes from, the Diamond Beach. And no surprises there, this is the most popular place in all of Iceland to propose. So if there are any guys on here, just, letting you know. You can see this magnificent scenery here, and of course a waterfall, because in every part of Iceland that you'll go to, you will encounter a brand new waterfall, looking very different than the last one you saw. This one is called Svartifoss, or the Black Waterfall, because of the intense scenery behind it with all of its basalt columns. Let me see. Then we're going to the East Fjords of Iceland. The East Fjords is fjords, as the name says. This is where you will witness a lot of our cute little Icelandic colorful villages. So we're a fishing nation. So a lot of these small fishing villages that you will drive through on your route along the East Fjords. Beautiful scenery, of course, but what is most known for the East Fjords is that it's the only place in Iceland where one, we have reindeer. So the only place we have reindeer is here in the east, and we don't farm them. They're completely free roaming. So we don't do any reindeer sledding or anything like that. They're just free roaming, but you may possibly witness some of them on your drive. And two, it's the only place in Iceland where we have an actual forest. We have been growing a lot of trees in recent years, but this is the only place with our actual forest. But as you can see from this picture here, even in Iceland, we even though we have some trees, they're not very tall because of our climate. So we have the best joke in the entire world, and if you don't laugh, I'll cry, because this is Icelanders' favorite joke. What do you do when you get lost in an Icelandic forest? You stand up. So that's what you may experience in the East Fjords of Iceland. Now I'm taking you to the north. The north is basically a destination worth its own destination, I'm telling you. It is, I'm not really allowed to say this because I'm not from there, but it might possibly be my favorite area of the country. The north is breathtaking with a number of waterfalls. The two top pictures are Dettifoss. This is the most powerful waterfall in Europe. As you can see from the picture, and there's my mother and brother sitting a little bit too close for my liking. But anyway, the water thunders down with such force that the rock and ground shakes around it. And you can just see from the picture how magnificent this one is. Bottom right, this is Goðafoss, or the waterfall of the gods. And this one over here is one of my favorites because it is a hidden gem. My brother and I just jumped in the car and went out exploring because we realized that we will always find something new in Iceland. And this was one of the sites that we encountered. And this is Aldeyjarfoss waterfall, located a bit inland, a bit hidden, and in this breathtaking canyon here. Lake Mývatn, you should explore, spending at least a night in the area, preferably two, because there is so much to see and do. So Lake Mývatn used to be a very volcanic active area, not so much anymore. So it is completely full of lava fields. So you can see that the nature around you, it's all really dominated by these lava fields. For example, in the picture here, this is Dimmuborgir lava fields, and you can see all these very unique rock formations. Here we have a number of hiking routes. You can hike through this area anything from 15 minutes up to 3 hours. Really up to you how much you want to explore these lava fields. We have here some pseudo craters in the bottom picture here. You can see one of the volcanoes here, this mountain called Hverfjall. This was a tephra explosion. So basically what happened is that when it exploded, it imploded basically. So when it erupted, it imploded, created this crater. It's a massive, massive crater. And if you look closely at the picture, you can see at the bottom here, these are cars. So you can drive and park your car there and walk up this easy path up to the top and walk the entire circle of the rim of this mountain, seeing both the crater itself and the magnificent scenery of Lake Mývatn. The top middle picture here is our hot spring area. So there is a hot spring area. Well, there are hot springs all around Iceland. We're a very hot country underground with all of our volcanic activity. So these are the hot springs of the north, and you can see how colorful the surroundings of it are. And also these here themselves are the hot springs. They do not erupt. We only have that one that erupts in the south, and maybe thankfully so, because as you can see, these are mud pools. So this is literally boiling mud in the earth. Picture below that is Mývatn nature baths, and that's the only alternative in all of Iceland that we have to the Blue Lagoon. This is the exact same concept as the Blue Lagoon, located here in the north. Our beautiful city of Akureyri This is what we call the capital of the north. It is a huge city in our standards with a whopping 17,000 people living there. We have a domestic airport, a university, hospital. You can see our church here. Beautiful city to stroll around in. And just right here from the city center harbor, you can see the boats. We go out whale watching. And Akureyri is nestled in a beautiful narrow fjord. When you go whale watching in the Eyjafjörður fjord, you will most likely encounter humpbacks. There are a lot of humpbacks in this fjord, but other whales as well. But here's the fun fact. From Akureyri, our success rate whale watching is 100%. So that quite simply means that we have never left the harbor of Akureyri without seeing whales. Last time I went was this past summer with my brother again. We were exploring and we had 16 humpbacks playing around our boats. It was absolutely amazing. Just to demonstrate here as well what I've taken you through on a map. I love maps. So when you are self-driving in Iceland, you are going from A to B because you want to obviously move around to cover the whole circle. But when you're self-driving in Iceland, you're definitely never driving just A to B. You are using that entire day from one accommodation to the next to explore all of the magnificent sites that we have between. So here is the north routes that we recommend you take. We're almost done, actually. Am I good on time? Yep. So the west part of Iceland and the Snæfellsnes Peninsula is here. And this you can actually access from Reykjavik as well. So you can explore the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, Peninsula as a day trip from Reykjavik as well. This is where you will see more of our amazing nature, some breathtaking bird cliffs here. You can see how they're created like little caves here and there. It's a beautiful area to take various hiking routes. We have a church here, which is very much photographed, and it is for the simple reason that the color of it is black. And for that reason alone, we simply call it the Black Church of Iceland. This is located on the peninsula. This picture here, I'll allow anyone to unmute themselves if you know the answer. So this mountain, in Iceland we have so many mountains, and by the way, we have a name for each and every single mountain, volcano, glacier, and waterfall in the whole country. But this here mountain has become a bit special, and for a special reason, it has become the most photographed place in the entire country. Does anyone want to guess why? No ideas? Game of Thrones. So this is one of the Game of Thrones sites. And for anyone who watches Game of Thrones, this is Arrow Mountain, what they call it. But the actual name of it is Kirkjufell, of course, because that's what we do. There's also a beautiful waterfall here in front of the mountain, so you can see from this view here. We have two more waterfalls here in the west, each of them very unique. The top picture here is of Vatnafoss waterfall, or the Children's Waterfall, which has a sad story behind it. There used to be a natural rock bridge crossing here, and in the old times there were two kids who were crossing that natural bridge to reach church on the other side, but there was a snowstorm, and sadly the bridge collapsed as they were crossing it and drowned. Ever since then we have called this waterfall the Children's Waterfall, and you can see this. It has a very eerie blue, bright blue color to it. It really is quite a special waterfall. The bottom picture here is Hraunfossar, or the lava waterfalls. The name comes from, as you can see, if you look closely in the picture, this glacier water is squeezing its way through the lava field, creating this kind of lava waterfall. And now, because last but not least, I'm taking you home. This is where I'm from. And this is a place in Iceland called the Westfjords. And I'm sure you can see from this picture here which part of the country I'm talking about. The Westfjords of Iceland is without a doubt our hidden gem still. Not so many people go there, even know of it. And remember I told you about road number 1? It doesn't take you to the Westfjords. So us, people from the Westfjords, we keep nagging and whining that we are not part of our circle route. So now we decided to create our own, and we are now road number 2. And if you follow road number 2, you will see some unbelievable sights. So if you look at the bottom picture here, this is where I'm from. In fact, that's my house right over there. This is the capital of the West Fjords with a whopping population of 2,500 people. We have here a hospital and a college and a domestic airport even. So you can fly to Ísafjörður. You can see on the map here, Ísafjörður. So we are that far north and in the middle of nowhere that I can tell you, growing up, going to school, we never have snow day in Iceland because we would be a very uneducated bunch if that was so. So there are no snow days in Iceland. And I remember growing up, when we had intense snow, it usually covered the entire first floor of the building. That doesn't stop us. So me and my brother, school bag on our shoulders, and we jumped out of the window of the second floor, and off we go to school as 6-year-olds. So this is a very dramatic area in landscape and scenery. For example, we have these dramatic bird cliffs here. This one in the middle picture to your left, this is the one of the largest puffin colonies. So you can drive here, park your car and stroll around this area, and you can get really up close to the puffin because they're so used to humans that they don't really fly away, and you get really close to them. It's a photographer's heaven. The top picture here is from this area. If you look at the map, this area here, as you can see, there are no roads, no houses, nothing. Nobody lives there. To reach this area, you have to sail from Ísafjörður to the other side and basically swim to shore. Not really though, but basically. And then here you have hiker's paradise. You are alone in the world. And I'm not really allowed to say this either because I only did this hike last summer for the first time, and I'm still absolutely amazed with the sights of this beautiful area. And in my opinion, the most beautiful waterfall in the entire country. This one here called Dynjandi waterfall. Good timing. Now I'm done. I think I've taken you roughly around my whole country and hopefully given you a bit of taste of what you can see and do in Iceland. We have more, but I know that I cannot have you until midnight. So I'm going to leave it at that and open up for questions. I'm actually going to make you host again, Sharon, if that's okay.
Thank you. Wow, thank you, Rannveig. That was absolutely amazing. And now I'm even more gutted that I didn't get to go last month.
You will go one day.
I will go one day. I will go. So does anyone want to unmute themselves and ask any questions? Feel free, or you can ask on the chat if you don't want to talk. Alex?
Can I ask a question? I'm not sure if I missed it while you were explaining everything. What constitutes your winter months and what constitutes your summer months? Because I know it all changes. It's also different in so many different countries. So what is the peak snow time and the peak summertime kind of thing?
Very good question, actually, because you're right. I didn't really very clearly state that. So what we call Northern Lights season as well, basically, is between, well, the Northern Lights, you can see them anytime between 1st of September all the way through till 15th of April, because we have such a long winter season in Iceland. We're so far north. But the winter months would be considered October to March. For self-driving, for the summer months, this is when I recommend May through to September. And the sun doesn't set at all in July. I hope that makes sense. May to September and October to March.
That's brilliant, thank you.
What sort of temperatures do you get in the summer months, Rannveig?
It's cold.
Cold.
You never go to Iceland for a tan. I can tell you at least that much, sadly. We are starved of D vitamin, I'm telling you. We have, but interestingly though, because of the Gulf Stream, it's not that cold during the winter months, not as cold as people think. It's roughly on average about 0 degrees during the winter months, but don't forget the wind chill factor. So it will feel a bit colder than that in the winter. The summer we have on average 12 degrees. Once we hit double digits, you will see Icelanders running outside in their t-shirts buying ice cream.
And did you say that the water is about -2 degrees all year?
+2.
Plus
That's the glacier water and some of our lakes, but it doesn't really count for the ocean though, the Atlantic Ocean. That will get colder even than the glacier water. Oh, someone's saying here, Iceland has great crime writers who give excellent descriptions of Iceland. Arnaldur Indriðason and Ragnar Jónasson, those are my two favorite authors. Fun fact about Icelandic authors as well, we're such a creative bunch because, you know, we live in a lot of darkness and we're weird. We have the most authors per capita in the world, but we have the most anything per capita, to be honest, because we are that small. But we have so many authors, and writing is very important to us. We have a huge number of amazing authors, but we have something during Christmas called Jólabókaflóð, and that is what we call, it is the book season. So all Icelandic authors, they will release their books just before Christmas, because we spend Christmas reading. We give each other books as Christmas gifts, and the day after we have opened our presents, we're all lying on the couch reading our new books. So we're very much a book nation.
I've been sent a question in from someone beforehand, and it was, what, if you weren't from Iceland, would you prefer to go in the winter or the summer?
Both. Okay. The thing is that it is actually that different, that I genuinely love each season for its own right. For winter months, I would really recommend your typical short break, 3 to 5 nights in the city, and that is with your focus of the Northern Lights. Because the Northern Lights have become such a bucket list thing, then of course that's what people want to do, and that is the season that we have the Northern Lights. However, if you do actually want my very, very honest response on this, I would say summer. Save up and stay longer, because self-driving around the country is truly out of this world. Driving there with your own freedom, exploring a brand new scenery each and every single day is something that I do still every summer, because it still takes my breath away. So that would be my personal favorite season, but then of course you don't have the Northern Lights.
True. Thank you. Anybody else got any questions?
I don't think there's any more questions in the chat box.
I'm very impressed that someone here knows Arnaldur Indriðason and Ragnar. It's Michael and Ragnar Jónasson. I love those authors.
I'm glad you were here to pronounce their names. I was looking at that thinking I'm not going to attempt it.
I am pretty sure that Michael, wherever you are, you quickly ran and found those books so you could type out the author. I'm convinced you didn't remember how to spell their names.
We've just been asked on the chat, actually, do you get cruise ships coming to Iceland?
We do. We have 4, sorry. We have 4 cruise harbors. They are dotted around the country. One in the capital, we have one in the East Fjords, we have one in the capital of the North, Akureyri, and we have one in my hometown. Honest to God, we have a cruise harbor there. So there are cruises that sail the entire circle. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, got a couple more coming in. How expensive is it for food, drink, accommodation, etc.?
Expensive. So I'm just telling you it's expensive and cold, am I not? No, well, I can't lie. I really can't lie. And I think generally people know that it's not a cheap destination. Iceland is just, it's simply not cheap. But expensive, I don't know. You're looking at a pint at the bar is about €10, a glass of wine about €13, a nice 3-course meal approximately €50. So some tips is that we are not in the EU, so when you come, stock up on duty free. Our hotels even accept this, so they leave the minibar empty in your room. I'm not joking. So you can stock up on your own goods. But it is relatively expensive in Iceland.
So Rannveig, there's another question. talk about the cuisine and what are the national dishes to try.
Oh, are you sure you want me to tell you?
I think I know what it is.
Okay, our cuisine for you as visitors, I promise, is amazing. So our seafood, obviously, it literally jumped onto your plate from the ocean. So all seafood is just absolutely amazing. My father is, of course, a fisherman, so I cannot eat fish anywhere else in the world because I won't eat anything else but my father's fresh catch from the day. Another delicacy that we have is the Icelandic lamb, because they're all free roaming completely. We have some of the most delicious lamb that you can find. And our cuisine has just been improving constantly, and it seems to be many people's very pleasant surprise, the quality of the restaurants that we offer and the food quality in general. We also have some experiences to enjoy. For example, we have a greenhouse. We have a few greenhouses dotted around Iceland, which is very impressive that we can grow tomatoes and cucumbers in Iceland all year round in this glacier country. And this is because of our geothermal heat. So we use the geothermal heat to heat up our greenhouses and light them up all year round. You can visit one of the greenhouses, explore with the local farmers who live there, and then taste the best tomato soup in this world. So that's the cuisine for you as a visitor, I promise, is amazing. If you want to ask me what the Icelanders eat, that's a different story. It's horrible. So being a nation living in very harsh conditions, and again, remember I told you we never step away from our traditions. So we still eat this today, even though we don't have to. I don't know why. So nothing can go to waste in the old times. So we eat sheep's heads, for example, and what we do is we take the entire head and we boil it as it is and put it as it is on your plate, and then you start gnawing. We also eat ram's testicles. And the worst one, in my opinion, is the rotten shark. So apparently sometime in the old time, the Icelanders realized that a shark got caught in the fishing net, and this cannot go to waste. But there's so much ammoniac in a shark that it's poisonous. So they threw it in the backyard and just dumped their trash on top of it and whatever. But for some bizarre reason, somebody realized that if it's proper rotten, then the ammoniac leaves and it's not poisonous anymore. So yay, we can eat shark, and we still do it today. So yeah, dried fish.
Yeah, tasty. You won't have seen this Rannveig, but it sounds like a bush tucker trial to me.
Yeah. A what now?
There's a program called I'm a Celebrity. I'll explain it another time. And they have to eat horrible things. And
yeah, come to Iceland.
Yeah,
you'd fit in really well, Rannveig. You'd kill it. You really would.
I'm sure.
And we've got a couple of other questions. There's one about the John Bishop documentary about the whale sanctuary. I think this was about the 2 whales that were rescued, and asking if you can visit there.
This is, to be honest, I'm still doing my thorough research because animal welfare is on top of our list. It is most important to us. At this very moment, I will not offer it as a visitor destination. I believe that they are now working ways on welcoming visitors to the sanctuary, which is located on, by the way, it's located on an island south of Iceland. So it's an island of the island. And I believe they were meant to have it all just by cameras and so on. So you don't actually go to the what do you call it, the place where they live actually. But now there are discussions of organizing boat tours and stuff, which we are very much against, sadly. I'm sorry. It's, go on our whale watching cruises, see them in their natural habitat.
And there's one more question from Kirsty. My nan has always wanted to go to see the Northern Lights. She's 86. Do you have many elderly visitors?
Absolutely, yes. People of all ages are welcome. Definitely. So we love tailor making as well. So tell us who you are, tell us what interests you, and I promise to make the perfect, most suitable program for you. 86 is not a problem. We'll be sure to take very good care of her. there, for example, just so you know, I would recommend the cruise in that sense, if she doesn't get seasick. Because of course, seasick people, I don't really recommend the cruise. But if she doesn't, then the cruise option is very comfortable, because there we have a nice warm indoor seating area. So you're sitting there, we have tables as well, and a kiosk. There's a toilet on board. So it's just a comfortable way of going out, because the guides inform you. So you can just sit back and relax and enjoy your hot chocolate or beer, up to you. And the guides will tell you, oh, I see some activity in the sky. And that's when everyone runs up onto deck. And we have overalls on board and blankets. And it's just a really great way of hunting the Northern Lights.
There was a question about, are there any younger age limits on some of the excursions? I think you said 6 for the snowmobiling, didn't you?
Yes, there are various age limits, yes. So again, tell us who you are, what your ages are, and so on, and we'll be sure to fit it all in. But just as a couple of examples, the age limit to the Blue Lagoon is 2 years old. Age limit on these kind of vehicle activities like snowmobiles and quad bikes is 6 years old, so the kids can sit with you. Then we have some of the glacier hike, for example, is 8 years old. Snorkeling is 12. And the ice cave, we have a shorter version of the ice cave where the age limit is only 8. So we will always find lots of amazing things for kids to do. There are lots also that have no age limits, like whale watching, the lava tunnel, no age limit, and of course like sightseeing tours like the Golden Circle and so on. So very family and children friendly.
Fantastic. I don't know if there's any more questions. I don't think there are.
No, I don't think there are.
No.
Don't any of you have any voices? I'm still on mute.
Oh, there is one.
Mm.
So you get a refund on cruise and coach, why not for the trucks?
Right. Very valid question. First of all, I'm afraid you don't get a refund. You only get a refund if we cancel the tour altogether, which also may happen if there is a snowstorm or we know that there's definitely not going to be a sighting tonight, then we will cancel the tour. If we cancel the tour repeatedly throughout your stay, we will refund it. But if you do go out, if the tour does go ahead, we don't refund you, but we welcome you for free again. And you can keep trying. And if you still haven't seen them after your 3 or 5 night stay, you still get a voucher valid up to 2 years. So please come again. The reason that we cannot do that for the trucks is that the super jeeps, they are expensive to run, and it is an excursion in itself with the super jeep, because they still take you up onto mountains, and so that experience is an experience in itself. So we cannot offer that for free again. But we are stricter on the super jeeps when we actually go out. So we're a bit more, picky on the night that we choose for the super jeep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rannveig.
Right, does it look like?
You've enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Lots of compliments for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rannveig. It really just wow.
Thank you. So you're coming to visit?
Oh God, yeah.
Are you coming summer or winter, or both?
1 year I do winter, and then I might accidentally have to book another vacation.
Accident, fine by me. But that's actually also something that so many people do. They do come over for a short stop and do Blue Lagoon, Golden Circle, Northern Lights, and then get that feeling that like they've gotten that taste of Iceland. I have to go again because there's so much more to see, and then typically choose the other season.
The other, because it's the other side of the coin, but it's still just as beautiful. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. Yeah. And Jayne, thank you so much for inviting me to this, and thank you. I just have loved it.
You're welcome. Glad you came.
Thank you.
Any more questions? No?
No, don't think so.
No, I think we will say thank you very much, Rannveig.
Absolutely.
That was amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much.
And as we said, I think all of us said when we were talking to the people that we'd invited, that obviously we're doing this for ourselves so that we can show amazing destinations to you all while we're all in lockdown, or not if you're in Wales. But obviously talk to whoever it was who invited you. If you do want to get some more information about Iceland, then obviously we will be happy to oblige and talk to Rannveig and put something in, get an itinerary together if it's something you fancy doing next year.
That's also the beauty of what we do, is the tailor making. So that's my favorite part of operating Destination Iceland, is I want to hear who the people are so that we create the holiday that suits you perfectly. So we tailor make it all year round.
I'd like to say also that we're going to be doing some other destinations, and Rannveig doesn't know this yet, but we're going to get her back to talk about Norway and Namibia sometime, because she specialises in them as well. So if any of you are interested in those too, we'll definitely be putting out some more Zoom escapes for you all to join if you're interested in the future.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We'll be happy to come again. And just in case anyone is wondering, that was very random. Iceland and Norway, fair enough, but I also do Namibia. Very, very far south, but it's very simple. I'm Icelandic myself, but grew up in Namibia. So that's also why I was making a face when I was speaking of all the Icelandic food, because I missed that tradition growing up in Namibia, maybe thankfully so. So that's why we do Namibia as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you for everybody for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you everybody
all so
for coming.
much.
Thank you.
Been nice to see you all.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Jayne. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome.
Bye.
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Jayne.
Thank you.
Welcome.